Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to the newest installment of Critical Reviews. In the last episode, we took a look at the original Dungeons & Dragons movie, and at the end, I mentioned that a lot of people wondered why instead of making a new property, why didn't they make a movie about one of the existing ones? There are so many that they could have chosen from. There's Dark Sun, Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, and my favorite, Dragonlance. Though I enjoy a lot of different series in Dungeons & Dragons world, my favorite has to be the World of Krynn, and especially the Chronicle series. I have been a fan of this world ever since reading The Legend of Huma, and it was that book plus the video game Shining Force that got me into RPGs and tabletop gaming. When it came to these books, I really connected with the character of Raistlin Madri. I'm honestly just drawn to darker, more mysterious characters, first of all. But it's not just that. He has a very complex and interesting story that has spanned books, and it has been a journey just following that character. One reason this is such a great series is because if you don't like that character, you can follow many different others. Needless to say, I was very excited when I heard they were going to be coming out with a movie based on the first book in the Chronicle series. This is Dragons of Autumn Twilight. After 5 years apart, searching the land of Krynn for proof of the existence of the true gods, a group of friends come across a woman and her mystical blue crystal staff. Soon they are thrust into a war that could lead them to the answers they seek, or their death. As a fan of the book series, I do have to say that in the end this movie is pretty faithful to the source material. That being said, it's also extremely rushed and very sloppy. Look, what we have here is a 448-page book of a 3-book series, and there is at least 10 main characters that need setting up, and a ton of minor characters as well. Even when it came to the minor characters, most of them are pretty important to the overall story. This especially rings true if they were going to cover all 3 books, which I'm pretty sure they were given the ending to this movie. Similar to something like Lord of the Rings, you would probably need at least a 3-hour movie to tell each book properly. In a bit, I'll talk about how I'd solve the overall problem. We're talking about a cartoon, so of course we have to ask, how's the animation? I remember buying this DVD when it came out, and I remember being extremely disappointed with how it looked. This movie is a mixture of choppy, outdated 2D and pretty bad quote-unquote new CGI. Those computer graphics were saved for things like dragons and draconians, which, for those that don't know, are basically dragon men. There is no case in this movie where it mixes well at all, ever. Even when it just comes to the 2D graphics, there's horrible clipping at times. And if you're wondering, well, if they just stuck with the 2D art, would it have been better? Well, yes, but that's not saying much. The biggest disappointment for me was the fact that they had a fantastic voice cast. I remember being extremely excited whenever I heard Kiefer Sutherland was going to be Raistlin Madri. I thought to myself, between his raspy voice and his ability to play damaged characters, he was a perfect choice. Unfortunately, it only looks good on paper. While this isn't everybody you know, some of the actors you might know are Michael Rosenbaum, he played Tanis Half-Elven, Lucy Lawless played Goldmoon, and Phil LaMarr played Riverwind and Gilthanis. I feel that these actors were either rushed and or checked out of the project, and look, I can't really blame them. Most of them either seem to not really understand or care about the source material. That being said, there were times I thought they knew the source material, such as when Kiefer Sutherland had to do Raistlin's spellcasting. In the end, this was just a rushed version of what could have been a great cartoon series. Now, how would I fix it? After seeing the Castlevania Netflix series, my first thought was, man, this is how they should have done the Dragonlance cartoon. What I'd like to see is a continuing animated series, maybe a book a season starting with Dragons of Autumn Twilight, and add in flashbacks from the many prequel books. There is so much going on in these books and so many characters that you need that much time to tell a complete story. In the end, Dragons of Autumn Twilight is only for the hardcore fans, and even they are not going to be too happy with this movie. Everything's rushed, the actors feel to be checked out of your favorite characters, and it's just not that nice to look at. Nowadays, it might be a little difficult to find a DVD of this one, but you don't have to look too hard on YouTube if you really want to see it. Next time on Critical Reviews, we're going to be taking a look at the second Dungeons & Dragons movie because, of course, they continued it. At least we don't have to put up with this guy again. As always, thank you so much for watching. What did you think of Dragonlance, Dragons of Autumn Twilight? Feel free to comment on down in the section below. But remember, it's only just one guy's opinion. I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Gino. Till next time.